done this before. You got close to something you actually wanted. And then right before it worked, you made sure it didn't. Missed the deadline, pulled back, lost momentum. Not because you couldn't do it, because something in you decided it wasn't safe to finish. And you probably told yourself a reason that sounded completely logical. It wasn't the right time. Something felt off. But that wasn't the reason. That wasn't the explanation. And there's a difference. Because this isn't random. There's a pattern behind it. And once you see it, you start to recognize it everywhere. Most people think that self-sabotage looks obvious. Bad habits, no discipline, lack of effort. That's not what it is. The real version is quieter. It's getting 80% of the way there and then stopping. It's knowing exactly what you should do and still not doing it. And this is where it gets really strange, because it doesn't feel like self-sabotage. It feels like logic. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. Your brain builds a case, and because it's your voice, you trust it. But that's not the real pattern. That's just the surface. So here's what most people get wrong. Self-sabotage isn't a lack of intelligence. It's often a result of it. Because the better you are at thinking, the better you are at explaining your way out of things. This is the part nobody talks about. A less analytical person might just quit. A more analytical person quits and creates a reason that sounds completely justified. And now, it doesn't feel like quitting. It feels like the right decision. You didn't think your way out of it. You felt your way out of it first. Then your brain wrote this whole story afterwards. And once that story feels real, the pattern becomes invisible. Now here's where it gets deeper. Self-sabotage doesn't happen because you don't believe in the goal. It happens because part of you doesn't believe in reaching it. And that difference changes everything. You can want something completely and still feel uncomfortable becoming the person who has it. Because that version of you is unfamiliar. And unfamiliar doesn't feel exciting to your brain. It feels dangerous. So instead of stopping you directly, it creates distance, doubt, distraction, second guessing. And it all feels reasonable while it's happening. This pattern has a name: cognitive dissonance. The tension between who you are and who you'd have to become to reach your goals. Self-sabotage doesn't look the same every time, but it follows patterns. Here are the ones that most people don't catch. First, procrastination that feels productive. You're not avoiding it, you're preparing. But preparation that never ends is avoidance. Second, sudden distractions. Right when something matters, something else becomes urgent. Because urgency is easier than risk. Third, false progress. Talking about what you're going to do instead of doing it. And your brain rewards you like you're already moved, even though nothing's changed. Now here's where most people get stuck. They understand this. They recognize it. And then nothing changes. And this is where most people lose the pattern. Because insight feels like progress, but it isn't. The real shift happens in a very small window, about 3 to 5 seconds. Right when something starts to feel off, that hesitation, that doubt. That's the moment everything is decided. If you don't catch it, your brain fills it with story. And once that story forms, the behavior follows. So the real skill isn't discipline, it's noticing. Is this actually logic? Or is this fear that sounds like logic? So this last one I wanted to save because that's where I usually see the pattern in myself. Because self-sabotage usually isn't about the thing itself. It's about what that thing represents. If success means pressure, you will avoid success. If connection means losing yourself, you'll avoid relationships. The goal isn't the problem. The belief underneath it is. And most people never question that belief. They just live inside it. So here's where it took me a long time to figure out once I identified this pattern in myself. Self-sabotaging isn't self-destruction. It's self-protection. From a future your brain doesn't trust yet. And that's why it feels justified. The behavior makes sense once you see the belief behind it. The work isn't forcing yourself forward. It's identifying what part of you is pulling back and asking, do I still want to let that run my life? Most people never ask that question. Now you can't unsee it. If this connected with something you've been trying to understand, please subscribe. I do short breakdowns throughout the week and a long form video every Friday. I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section.